Where is the clicker? Oh, okay. Okay, good evening, brothers and sisters in Christ. Again, welcome to the series of the Talitha Koum, and today I will bring the session in the Seeking Jesus in the Midst of Crisis. But before I start, I would like to have some kind of things to do, which will take another around 5 minutes. So please share these things first. Yes, sir. Oh, why Andre?
Just have a dream that I go.
Okay, sure.
What? Oh, wait, stop this. So fucking was master again.
Actually, don't need to share, but you want to share at the same time. Okay, so just see through all of these words. This is the, as it's been said, it's feeling words. And I think just ask yourself, what are the feelings that, what are the words that speaks to you? Like, what are your feelings currently? And why do you feel this feeling?
We have to mask up.
No?
Don't understand.
It's okay. If don't understand, that means that's not the word that speak to you. It will be something that you understand.
I'm hungry, there's no hungry
Yeah,
here.
it's not opinion.
Because it's not a feeling. Okay, it's supposed to be a reflective mood. Okay, so let's keep the silence a little bit. Just give around 5 minutes. And if you somehow already find some, the words that speaks to you, I think just have a personal prayer, by yourself with Jesus. Just have that conversation with Jesus, like why, tell him why do you feel this way and all these things. If you have finished, slowly just let your focus come back to the slides again.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Andre.
I can't join you anymore.
Sure.
Just, I don't have much to say.
Sure. Take care and rest.
You too, take care. I just dinner at the park. So just I can do this.
Thank you, Andre. See you. Oops. Oh. I pressed wrong buttons. Okay. So I would like just to ask. I want to just collect what are the dominant feelings that you felt from. Like when you are trying to see what are you feeling currently. So and help to share why as well in your comfortable level. Don't tell like one paragraph story. I think just one statement is enough. One. So yes, anyone want to share? Not share. Tell their feelings. What are the words that speaks to you from that? Or blur?
For me, I realized when I was reflecting, I got different feeling for different segment of my life. So, like for example, the word swan kind of spoke to me because when I recall of my work, I'm feeling very swan. And you want the translation? So it's like overwhelmed.
Okay.
Yeah, like in other parts of my life, when I look at like what I really want to do in my life, then I feel uncertain, undecided, unsure, same like
Yes. Okay. Which one is more dominant at this point of time at the current moment?
maybe still the uncertain because decided is like when you are close to a decision, but now it's like no option, clear option yet, so still uncertain.
Uncertain is the dominant one lah. No. Yeah, compared to this one. Sorry.
I don't know, it feels like for different parts of life, it's like
Okay. I just put both here. Undecided, uncertain. Okay. Thank you, Emma, for sharing. Anyone else?
Oh, for me, like my dominant feeling would be under like the confused category.
Confused.
Like,
Why do you feel confused?
no, because I don't know whether I should continue with what I'm doing now. Should I make what changes do I need to make in my life? Somehow I feel I need to make a change somewhere, but I'm not sure where. So, because like what Emma said, yeah, I have also other feelings on the other categories, but the main one will be confused.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone feels positive feeling? Oh, someone has positive feeling. Yes,
Yeah, I feel empowered.
feel empowered. That is the dominant feeling. Okay, good. And why?
Yeah, I think because I just feel very affirmed of God's love for me and
Okay.
my identity and purpose and what He's calling me to.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you. Yes,
Please.
please. Why do you feel please?
Because I think it's just a recent a recent event this morning that I met someone who I think difficult to please.
Okay. And then next you feel please?
So I feel like then I'm thinking that am I pleasing God, something like that, and because I don't think he's supposed to be like that, like
Okay,
difficult to please.
okay. Sorry, yeah, I still don't get it. So why do you feel pleased then?
Because I'm easy, a person who are easy to
Oh,
please.
okay. So, okay, sure.
Actually, I also feel relief.
Really? Okay.
I have a lot of feelings.
It's okay. That's supposed to be. That is also what I want to achieve from this exercise, because definitely we have a lot of feelings that are going through in our hearts as well. So that one is what just now we mentioned. Relief. Just put another because you have your dominant there. Why you feel relief?
Finally, it's weekend.
Sure, that's great. Anyone like Irma? I mean, like you feel your dominant feelings is maybe positive, like, but you feel a little bit on the not so dominant feeling, a bit negative, or something along that. Or your dominant feelings is actually negative, but your other feelings that you feel they are a little bit positive there as well. Contradictory. Do you have any contradictory feelings when you see that?
Yes, but
It's okay.
I feel
Thank you.
confident, but at the same time I feel confused, I feel confident, I feel
Feel content. Wow. Okay. So which one is the dominant one first?
content.
Content is the dominant. Okay, then the
Also I feel confused,
confused also
condemned,
and condemn.
alienated, abandoned,
all the above.
frustrated,
You want to share your litany on
feeling and feeling.
Curious.
I don't. Can you summarize in one word?
Well, I guess
The more dominant one.
the more dominant is
The one dominant is content.
Okay.
I have
For the
a lot of
content
feelings.
is the one content.
He's angry with you.
I think I can have a lot of feelings at the same time.
Sure, definitely.
So overall, in my life, I feel content because I buy a good sofa. I feel
Sofa.
I feel grateful for what God has done in my life and where I am now. So, but at the same time, I feel confused about my future. I feel condemned about how people in my work treat me. I feel alienated because I feel like sitting alone today. I feel fuming because yeah, you can put it here. I feel fuming and furious because of the things that is happening in the church. So I have a lot of feelings.
Okay. Thank you. I think from. Oh, okay. One more question before I continue. There is there a feeling that when you come because when you first is there a feeling that when you discover it, then you feel surprised that you're actually feeling that way before doing this exercise? No? So more or less you are quite sure that these are the feelings that you have been feeling.
Does the discovering the words part? Because I feel like,
Oh yeah, that's the word. Oh. Can be. Okay, that's good. But mostly you are all in. Oh, that is something that is quite good. Okay.
Categories help.
Sorry, the categories help.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like shy is under scared.
Okay.
They're just like different intensity of scared. There's some feelings are more scared, some more
Sure.
scared. So the categories help.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. I think what I want to actually do from this exercise is that sometimes it's the process of trying to find out what is going on in our lives, and like sometimes we might not aware of certain things because we have been pushing that feelings aside. So that's why I want to do this exercise as well, so that we really can probe in our hearts what are the things that actually going on in our hearts. And of course, like some of you have mentioned, that there are a lot of feelings that come that we can feel at the same time, but there is the dominant one, there are not so dominant one. The not so dominant one is the one that actually then we need also to discover, to really listen to this. I think why do actually I do this exercise today? First thing is that it's also to help us to be able to focus on the teaching session, because if we never listen to our feelings, it will keep on at the back of our mind. It might bother us, and we are not able. When we are doing things, it keeps on coming back to these things. Okay, so this is what we call, I think, in the normally in the community we call it as check-in, so that we put our feelings and we offer it up to God. That's why also I ask you to pray, have that conversation to Jesus for this what you felt. Okay, so that we offer it up to God. And second things is that stay tuned for this exercise, because I will connect it to the teaching later on. So thank you for participating. The teaching session today that I wanted to do is that it will be different from how I normally do my teaching session. I'm also trying to experiment it, but at the same time, what I want also, I feel that this is what is needed in the current series when we talk about crisis. That's why it will be more asking questions. I will get more inputs from you, and then we see that how that your inputs actually we can form it into eventually a teaching. So the responsibility is not in me, but it's in you. So okay, there will be no sharing session. So I have got the permission from the coordinator to do all of this teaching like until 9:40.
Oh my God.
So be prepared. Stay tuned.
Coffee.
Sit down comfortably. No, it is fast. But what I want you to just please help to be more active, so that you will not be sleepy. You don't need coffee. Be more active in answer in all of the exercise that I will ask. Okay. Of course, since I like to talk, I will still talk lah. Okay, we come back to the teaching about when we talk about crisis. Okay, I think when I talk about crisis, it reminds me of my experience when I was internship, 2010 that time, or 2009, 2010. I think 2010. Sorry. So during that time, I was faced with work that I find it very dreading for me, because my supervisors are very busy. So I need to take, I need to be, I need to do my own things. I need to like start my own. I need to be motivated to pick up the learnings and all these things by my own self. And I don't have the supervisors to help me. So that's why I find that my internship is very hard during that time. And I remember that after 2 weeks, it becomes every day when I go to internship, I feel it's very heavy for me to go. I started to procrastinate, to do a lot of other things that are not related with what I'm supposed to do. I started to chat in my Gmail, I started to read manga. Praise God, they never blocked the manga. So I do a lot of these things. I procrastinate, but at the same time when I procrastinate, I felt that it is very frustrating for me to do the internship, even though I can do all of that things without being noticed by anyone. But it is very hard. One day, I mean, at that time I was already involved in a charismatic prayer group. So when you talk, all of the sessions will tell you like to surrender it to God and all these things. And one day I was somehow enlightened. I just felt that day I said to God that, God, I want to surrender today's work to you. I will just try to do my best and see how it goes. And that day went pretty smoothly. I was like, oh, I felt enlightened. So I write this in my blog during that time, and also in Facebook notes. I was saying that I was inspired that I said that to surrender is not a one-time thing. It takes every single day that you surrender. Every day you need to surrender it that day to God. Because even though I said that I surrender my internship, but every day I will still face all of the difficulties. So I was so enlightened and I posted that in Facebook. Then one of my seniors actually commented on the notes and he asked me, so I know you feel positive now that you are like feeling that you can surrender it to God and everything works well today. But he asked me, but what do you enjoy from your work? And what are the fears that blocks you from doing your work? Because I mentioned that I procrastinate and all these things also. And I was like, I don't think I need to have that positive things that I enjoy at work, I said to him. Because I said that as long as every day I trust in God, I think everything will be good. But eventually he said that, but think about it. And I realized that after that 1 week of feeling positive, then I come back to the same initial state again. I started to come back and I felt that work is dreading and all these things. So what do I learn from this experience is that sometimes, yes, of course, we trust in God. We want to claim God's grace, to claim our identity as God's children. But at the same time, we also need to do our part. We also need to do the practical things so that can make us go through. And I think in the readings of the Talitha Koum, I shared last 2 weeks, the last sentence that in the passage, it is said that Jesus asked the people to feed the girl. I was like thinking, if God can raise her, why don't God just give raise her with feeling full as well, feeling nourished with all the nutrition? Why God still need us to people to feed the girl? And I think that God want to say that God works in supernatural way. He gives us the grace and all these things, but at the same time, God also works in a natural way, and He works in the practical ways that normally, if we are, especially in charismatic, sometimes we are a little bit, in a sense, too much. We are saying that, everything God can give grace to us, that we don't really do our part to do the necessary things. So today's teaching session, that's what I would like to have, that we also have that practical way so that we are able to do to face our crisis. Okay, since you already start to get bored, okay, I would like you to just think for a while, what are the crises that you have faced in your life, that you have faced in the past, and try to in your comfortable level, try to describe it. What the crisis is about. You can describe it in a very general way. Maybe it's like, or it's relationship, or it's health. You don't need to like say more details about it. But I like to know what are the crises that you might have faced in the past.
Identity.
Identity. Identity. You might to elaborate a little bit more.
Like, I'm not so sure of who you are.
Not so sure. Quarter life crisis. Yes. Wake up.
Monetary.
The 2008.
No, 2012, I need to pay my loan.
Why need to pay your loan is a crisis? Let's listen to him. Okay, this is crisis.
Because I become concerned and become, how to say, need to think about how to
Manage
finish this as fast.
Sorry, you need to think how to finish the loans lah. Also, this crisis comes when you are trying to pay off the loan.
Yes. I think it's like having a negative amount in the bank. So it's what makes you worried and
Okay. Okay, sure.
Sorry.
You also want to share
Death.
near death or death?
Death.
Oh, I mean death of other people, or I mean those
No,
who are
I'm still
close.
alive, brother. Death of other people. Death of a loved one, death of a friend.
maybe you are dead inside.
Yeah, maybe I die inside because
Death of
because you just crack my ego. Maybe I join you there lah.
ego death.
Ayalah. Death of a loved one.
Yes.
Like, am I in the right career path? Like,
Career. Ooh, that's only him.
I think that's
Career.
Can you define crisis?
Ah, do you want to try to define crisis? I think when I ask this question, what is in my mind when I ask about crisis is what makes you felt that it is something that is difficult for you. I think even sometimes it does not need to be a major difficulties. Sometimes even a small one it can also be a crisis.
girls say a time of intense difficulty or danger. Intense death lah.
Yes.
October.
Anyone want
My
to?
most major crisis was that when I was in year 4. It's because I'm working as a supervisor that keeps condemning my self-worth. It makes me feel so untalented, not enough, like I'm not hireable in Singapore. So that was the darkest period.
Self-worth. So due to your is FYP? Due to your project or academic.
Yeah, sure.
Arts.
But actually the second definition is quite interesting. So it's also a time when difficult or important decision must be made. And actually the word crisis comes from a Greek word which actually means decide.
Which means
Decide.
decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Faith.
Faith, what do you mean by faith crisis?
Where the question about God.
Why do you question about God? I mean during that time.
Because of all the other crises that I
Faith crisis is due to all of others.
yeah. It's like If God says you are loved, why do I experience suffer crisis?
Okay. I think I will see that all these things. I felt that this is things that, in a sense, we used to define ourselves. I personally, every start of the year, I will make this kind of to do for my resolutions. I do this kind of charts, not charts. I draw a big heart, and after that, I started to list down what are the things that, in a sense, occupied my heart. And from there, then I work out the resolutions that I, according to the criteria. Like I put God. God is definitely part of my heart. Family, friends, career, community, and I think what we have mentioned so far, in a sense, is very connected to what occupies our hearts. What eventually we put it as, in a sense, the definitions of our identity. Because what is in our hearts, in a sense, it becomes what is our identity. For example, and we can see that from all of this, all of others are, aside from God, are quite temporal, in a sense that family, yes, after death, then we might lose families, friends, career, and when the other things happen, you might lose your career as well. Community, you might, if you move away from Singapore, you might need to change community. So all of these are actually, all of this, in a sense, are temporal. And I think when we have crisis, this part of our hearts, for example, I have problems with a friend, this part of my heart, in a sense, is taken away from me. And that's why I felt a bit, I felt shaky, because what my friends that is before inside my heart, now is being taken away from me, and I started to feel the foundation is a bit shaky, and I started to lose this part of my heart. And yes,
I thought God is everywhere. Why God separate?
this is also something that I think also true, but some people does not. In a sense, yes, if we slowly, eventually, in our faith, we will surrender our family, in God. But sometimes we might differentiate that. Sometimes, like I say, sometimes I think for majority, when we say career, sometimes our career and God is a little bit, is in a different path. When I work, I just do my work as what I do, and I don't involve God in my work. So sometimes also that can happen. But of course, eventually the ideal situations, we want to everything, even though we have some parts of it, it is also inside God also.